23! That's the number of movie releases set to release in cinemas in China in April. 23! And these are just the ones that are confirmed. There will be more movies announced closer to their release date. Let's get into it and check out the April cinematic movie releases here on Asian Film Fans. The first of 6 movies set to release on the 2nd of April is this drama film about a man working as a funeral director after his release from prison. After hosting the funeral for her father, he meets a little girl who changes his outlook and attitude on life and all those around him. Starring Yilong Ju, who has had a stellar year with Cloudy Mountain and Embrace Again, I'd say get your box of tissues ready, as this one could be an utter tearjerker. The complete opposite of the previous film, if this movie is good, it's going to be massive. A follow-up to the 2007 thriller Mad Detective, Sean Lau reprises his role as the brilliant detective who suffers a mental breakdown and begins to investigate a series of gruesome murders in Hong Kong. Also starring Charlene Choi and Raymond Lam, this co-production will most likely suffer slightly due to film regulations, but going off the 2 trailers released so far, this could still be an awesome, gritty thriller and is our pick of the month. The third movie to release on the 2nd is this courtroom drama film about a lawyer who was fired from his law firm for exposing their dark secrets and makes a comeback to face some new challenges. Not much of a description and sounds rather generic, but a great cast here, including Xiaoming Huang from The 800 and the 2022 comedy drama Only Fools Rush In, and Ni Yan from Hu Guan's upcoming blockbuster Dogtown. Here's a cute little romantic drama film that's a little bit different from the releases so far. 1 Week Friends is about a smart but lonely transfer student with a strange quirk. Her memory only lasts for 7 days. She makes some new friends, including a love interest, who form a survival team that constantly creates surprises and new memories for her. This one stars the incredibly popular Shen Yu, who you may remember from The Yin Yang Master. This mystery crime film will probably get lost in the crowd unless it has remarkable word of mouth. This one follows a police officer who is investigating a robbery and murder case from 10 years ago and makes some revelations as his investigation deepens. This one doesn't have an instantly recognizable cast, and due to the nature of the film, it's doubtful if this one could live up to the premise on offer. Wrapping up the last of the releases on the 2nd is this anthology series of stories about the COVID pandemic and the effect it had on the lives of everyday citizens in Wuhan. Its release will mark just over 2 years since Wuhan was the first city in the world to lock down over the pandemic, and who knows if the interest for a movie like this is still around. But it does have a good cast though, which will put some bums on seats, including everyone's favourite darling Dong Yu-zhao and the awesome Song Jia. Releasing the day after the previous 6 movies, this American animation film was released worldwide back in January to good reviews. Originally an Amazon original film that premiered on Prime Video, this movie has had sporadic cinema releases worldwide and now finally arrives in China, a good 3 months after you could buy a pirated Blu-ray of the movie from a local vendor. Anyway, this movie sees Johnny turn himself into a monster, but with the side effect of turning everyone else into humans. Can he reverse the experiment? Well, since the movie's so old, you've probably seen it already and know the answer. So, in order to compete against the big US film, there's also a Chinese animation film set to release on the same day. This locally produced animation film is about a wolf who dreams of becoming the leader of the pack and competes in a duel with another wolf for that honor. Wow, it's almost like the premise of this movie and the reality of its release scenario have matched up. This doesn't look too bad, just like most other animation films. Nothing special but talking animals, which we've seen many times before. A week later, and another American movie release, with this J.K. Rowling adaptation releasing a week ahead of the US, most likely to counter any effects of potential piracy of the film. The film follows Professor Albus Dumbledore as he attempts to stop a powerful dark wizard. A very odd movie release for China, but expect this to do well. The second release on the 8th, and another foreign release, but this one's not from the US. This animation film releases almost 2 years after its initial release in 2020 and hails from Ireland and Luxembourg, two countries not associated with filmmaking or animations. This is the sequel to the 2015 movie that continues the journey of Finn and Lee on board Noah's Ark. The characters look cute, but they need to be for a film like this. The first of 4 films to release on the 15th is this Chinese documentary about 2 terminally ill patients. You may remember this film was supposed to release on the 4th of March, but was delayed due to the fact it was releasing on a day with a few big releases. This Hong Kong-China co-production headlines the 4 releases for the 15th and is yet another crime movie, this time set on the eve of the Hong Kong handover in 1997 with a fight between gangsters and police. Funded by streaming giant iQIYI, the cast of this one is impressive, with Richie Jen the headline act alongside Simon Yam, Alex Fong, Patrick Tam, and a cameo from Sammo Hung and Karina Lam. The director of this one also did Choi Lee Fut with Sammo Hung, which was a while ago, but he has a solid back catalogue of stunt directing work. Romance is the recipe here, in a delightful looking film about a spoiled pop star who travels to Rome to participate in a reality TV show where he meets a simple girl with a big dream, to become a great chef. As they spend time together, their lives start to change. The perfect fodder for a romantic movie, and I can imagine many boyfriends being forced to watch this when they would prefer Man on the Edge. This will probably be a surprise hit. Weird name, weird premise, and we're not sure this one will be any good. This is a mystery thriller movie, although it looks like a horror film, that takes place on New Year's Eve, where a student, who is having an extremely strange day, finds out they're repeating the same day over and over again. It sounds like Groundhog Day crossed with Happy Death Day. We don't have our hopes up for this one. A 2-week gap between movie releases sees 2 films on the 29th. The first is this romantic drama about 2 people who struggle with a long-distance relationship. At first, believing their relationship was strong enough to last the long distance, they find that each other's absence is being fulfilled by other romances around them. Can they rekindle their real love, or is this long-distance relationship doomed to fail? This should actually be a big hit, with a solid cast including Ma Li and Zhang Yin, with actor-director Chen Pindong having a solid back catalogue of hit films. This looks a little different to his other work though, with it being something about a big talking man who sells gravestones and becomes involved in some hot rumours about the cemetery, or something like that. There's no solid English information about this film just as yet. 6 movies round off the end of the month on the 30th, starting with this law thriller from Alan Muck, one of the co-directors of the Infernal Affairs and Overheard trilogy of films, so there's quite a bit of pedigree behind this one to make it a good film. This film is about a group of prosecutors who uncover a shady deal was done when investigating the death of a wealthy businessman. A terrific cast in this one includes Bai Bai He, Johnny Huang, and Wang Tenyan. 2 Ma Li movies in 2 days? That's exactly what's going on here. This comedy movie is about a man who is looking for clues to help trigger his father's ailing memory, but he's caught up in some kind of accident. Alongside Ma Li is Yuan Chang and the awesome Xiang Wei, who only 2 months ago starred with her in the mega Chinese New Year's hit Too Cool to Kill. So considering how popular that movie was, this could be quite the hit as well. Yet another animation film, and there's still 2 more animation films set to release for April, is this family movie about dinosaurs. A big dinosaur showdown apparently. Animation looks okay with this one, but the target audience is definitely the young ones. At the time of creating this video, there is very limited marketing information available for this one, which tells the story of a telecommunications fraud incident and the police officer who investigates it between the border of China and Myanmar. In his second film releasing on the same day, Wang Tenyan from the 800 stars alongside Ni Da-hong from Cliff Walkers and Guang Xiaotong from The Curse of Turandot. We'll be keeping an eye out for more information on this one. A drama film that might not have too much appeal, this movie tells the story of a few people who live in Beijing, a middle-aged businessman, a courier, and a young singer. Jiang Shu from the Lost In series is the headline star for this film that looks to add some comedy elements to make it more appealing. Now look, another animation film, and the last movie set to release on the 30th. This fantasy movie is about KAKA, who is possessed by evil forces as he grows up, but a legendary group of creatures team up to guide him in the right direction. At least that's what we think. This movie is very much aimed at a local audience, but seems like if it could get localized, it could become a cult hit. And finally, to wrap up the month is yet another animation film, also from the US. There's no set release date for this one yet, but its US release is the 22nd, so expect it on or after that day. This movie is about several reformed yet misunderstood criminal animals who want to change their ways and become good, with some hilarious results on the way. So yeah, more talking animals. This one's from DreamWorks, so expect it to be of very high quality though. So that's all the April Chinese cinema releases that we know of, subject to last minute changes. Are there any there that you're looking forward to? Let us know in the comments below, leave a like on the video, and we'll catch you next time.